Hello everyone, welcome back to Junaid Hacks. You're trying to get into your BIOS, but your keyboard is completely dead. You can't navigate, you can't change settings, nothing responds. Super frustrating, right? Don't worry, this is actually a really common issue, and most of the time it's an easy fix. In this video, I'll walk you through every solution, starting with the simplest ones first. Quick note before we dive in, this can happen on both desktops and laptops. Some fixes apply to both, some are specific to one. I'll call it out as we go. Let's get into it. Fix number 1. Try a different USB port. This sounds too simple, but it's the most common fix. BIOS doesn't always have drivers loaded for every USB port, especially USB 3.0 ports. Those are the blue ones. So, unplug your keyboard and plug it into a different port. Try the USB 2.0 ports, usually black, and ideally use ports on the back of your desktop, not the front panel. Front ports sometimes aren't initialized during BIOS. If you're on a laptop with multiple USB ports, just try each one. Fix number 2. Enable USB keyboard support in BIOS. If your keyboard works fine in Windows but not in BIOS, there's a setting that might have been turned off. It's called Legacy USB Support, or USB keyboard support, depending on your motherboard. Now I know what you're thinking, how do I get into BIOS to change that if my keyboard doesn't work? That's the classic catch-22. Here's the workaround. If you have a PS2 keyboard, that's the round plug, not USB, use that to get in and enable the setting. Or just borrow a keyboard from someone. Once you enable Legacy USB support, your normal keyboard should work fine after that. Fix number 3. Use a wired keyboard instead of wireless. If you're using a wireless keyboard, whether that's Bluetooth or a USB dongle, there's a good chance that's your problem right there. BIOS typically doesn't support wireless keyboards because the drivers for them just aren't loaded yet at that stage. Grab a basic wired USB keyboard. Even a really cheap one works fine. Plug it in and try again. This fixes it for a lot of people. Fix number 4. Reset the CMOS and clear your BIOS settings. If something in your BIOS got corrupted or changed, resetting it to factory defaults can help. This is called clearing the CMOS. On a desktop, shut down and unplug the PC, open the case, and find the small round CMOS battery on the motherboard. Remove it for about 30 seconds, then put it back in. That resets the BIOS to its defaults. On a laptop, look for a CMOS reset button or jumper in your laptop's manual. Some laptops also let you do this by holding the power button for 30 seconds with the battery removed. Fix number 5. Update your BIOS firmware. An outdated BIOS version can cause all kinds of weird issues, and keyboard problems are one of them. Most motherboard manufacturers release updates that fix bugs like this. Go to your motherboard or laptop manufacturer's website, search for your specific model, and download the latest BIOS update. Most modern systems let you flash the BIOS from within Windows. Just follow their instructions carefully, because doing it wrong can cause bigger problems. Fix number 6, and this is the last resort. It might be a hardware issue. If none of the above has worked, you could be dealing with a faulty keyboard or a USB controller issue on your motherboard. Test your keyboard on another computer. If it doesn't work there either, the keyboard itself is the problem. If it works perfectly on another machine, the issue is likely your USB controller or motherboard. At that point, it's worth having a technician take a look. Alright, quick recap. If your keyboard isn't working in BIOS, try a different USB port, especially USB 2.0. Enable Legacy USB support using a PS2 or borrowed keyboard. Switch to a wired keyboard if you're on wireless. Reset the CMOS to restore BIOS defaults. Update your BIOS firmware. And if nothing works, check for a hardware issue. Work through those in order and you should be sorted. That's it for this one. If this helped, drop a like. It really helps the channel. Let me know in the comments which fix worked for you, or if you're still stuck and I'll try to help. Subscribe if you want more straightforward tech fixes like this. See you in the next one.
Junaid Hacks in the zone. Helping you fix on your own. Debug the code, watch it home. Step by step, we break it down from the script all the way to the crown. Like, share, subscribe, don't slack. More tips coming back to back.